Welcome to another episode of the R&B Show. I'm glad to be back. Bruce, how are you?
Good, man. Welcome back. I'll give you a little round of applause.
Thank you. It's been a while. It's been a long, strange trip it's been. But you've been holding down the fort really well, man. You've been crushing it.
Yeah, in your absence, man, just kind of carrying the torch.
I keep muting it because I'm like sitting back. I'm glad you said in your absence. Because a lot of times in the absence of someone, potentially good things happen, and sometimes potentially not great things happen. In the absence of George Lucas, or as is the case of late Dave Filoni, I feel like Dave Filoni was absent in the making of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series. I don't know if that's 100% true. It just feels like it. In the absence of Dave Filoni, who I feel like is the only adult in the room, we've gotten what I think in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is so many great ideas. And as of the first two episodes, we're just talking about the first two episodes, we did not get the execution that I was hoping for, that I was dreaming for. And that is consistent. We won't get into the nitty-gritty. That is consistent, wouldn't you agree, with what we've been getting for the past 5 years at Lucasfilm?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you don't even have to go back that far. We could just go back to more recently with the Book of Boba Fett, which is a show with a legacy character that a lot of people are looking forward to, a lot of people hold dear. Was that lure? And we got sort of the classic Lucasfilm bait and switch tactics, which I'm not the only one to kind of bring this up. So I know it's the way a lot of fans feel, especially for a character like Obi-Wan, where there's been so much anticipation for Ewan to come back. That was one of the kind of top things on the wish list for a lot of people once Disney acquired Lucasfilm, was like, wow, if we can get like a standalone Obi-Wan Kenobi film, which was originally the plan. Then obviously certain things happened, obviously pandemic, but also the failure of Han Solo as a standalone film. So now we're getting this as a 6-part, what Disney Plus is marketing as an event. And but yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, so, and again, so as we go into, you did a great job of reviewing it on your blog. Like, so
the No B.S. Critic.com.
NoBScritic.com. Check it out. It's an awesome review. I really liked it. You nailed it. You voiced exactly what I was feeling. And it's that Ewan is phenomenal. Ewan always knows, like Ewan goes to work. Like he knows what the job is. He knows what the task is at hand, and he just steps into it effortlessly. He's awesome. Let's say positively. What were some of the things that you loved? I mean, there were things that you loved, right? Like what really stuck out for you as positive within the first two episodes of Obi-Wan?
Yeah, it was cool that from the get-go, that nice kind of truncated version of the prequels. It seems like you watch that and you kind of think, oh, if you hadn't seen the prequels, you would think, this is great. I have to go back and visit that. Don't do it, folks. That was enough, but it was a nice way to open things and kind of get a nice condensed version of what the essence of this story is. Ewan McGregor from Frame One is great in this. I have no problems with what they've actually done with the character. I know some people were feeling like, Jake Kenobi, but they didn't disrespect the character in the sense of really belittling to that degree. It in this case, it's part of the story that we expect, which is a kind of redemptive arc for this character, and obviously we know that coming from Revenge of the Sith, he's suffering from PTSD, all those issues. So all of that was really good. All of the Ewan scenes I thought were excellent. There were little elements. I don't know if Deborah Chow must be a fan, but we have a little bit of John Wick in this, which I like. Being a huge fan of the John Wick series. I believe you are too. We've discussed this.
I came to it later in life, but like I love it. Like it is. I binge those like sugar. Like
there were a lot of people that initially slept on that until that third one where the word was really out as far as how great it was. But you have some of that elements in this. The idea of kind of sending out that message like, oh, this is someone we're hunting for, and the paranoia that comes with being on the run and everyone hunting him down. That stuff was great. A few of his moves are a little John Wickish, so I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. So I loved all of that stuff.
But bringing up the John Wickness of it all, like that's exactly where I lost it. I mean, like when they introduced the idea of Leia, I lost it too, where I was like, of course, like let's cram in more of these legacy characters and revamp
Yeah.
them and everything. But when everyone in it was like a 1 mile radius, like, or I mean, really, it's like a 500-mile radius, but like everyone in front of him has like the picture of him, and he takes off his hood,
The hologram. Yeah.
and does the John Wick stuff, like all close contact. I'm just like, okay, like this is, we really have to squint here, like, because clearly he's not in danger, you know?
Yeah.
Like you think he's in danger, but he's completely like opening himself up. He's like announcing himself in front of everyone. Like it's hard not to miss him. If I'm like, oh, I just got texted a picture, but that's him. Like he's right there. Anyway, that's what I
Well,
like.
it's funny because some people brought up is like, okay, you're a Jedi in hiding, and so what's the first thing you do? You don't change your appearance whatsoever, and you put on the Jedi robe. and I love with the first episode how it ends. You know, he's got the saber holstered up and it's in plain view. So that was pretty funny. I found that
It's
hilarious.
in plain view. It's in plain view.
Yeah.
This is the most serious time for not. I saw a video about Camille. I forget his last name, but the actor who plays the other Jedi, you know, the fake Jedi, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, in the podcast, they're like, or in the video, they're like, you know, people are literally hunting in public, hunting Jedis, and you think it's a good idea to dress as one.
I know.
Right, but then Obi-Wan too, right? Like, oh, I'm back. Yeah. It's like,
yeah,
they make us squint our eyes. That's
although the shot was great for dramatic effect. Like, okay, you end that first episode, like, okay, he's back in the game, you know, and get the saber. So obviously it's more for that, you know. It's like, you know, I think when they were trying to do the special effects for Yoda in the prequels, and you know, they were trying the person ILM was trying to correctly do the robes, you know, how it would be, you know, if you were to really do the movements. George was like, no, it's not romantic. And I think that's what it is. You're getting these romantic shots rather than stuff that makes sense. So I didn't have a problem with that so much. And then, yeah, obviously the big cliffhanger that they leave it on, because that's getting to the meat of the story that you want. You know, the recognition that he's alive is like, holy cow, and the way you unsold that was awesome. And then you immediately go to the shot of, you know, Vader in the tank. I thought that was really cool.
Because that did it for me. Like I didn't have a response. I think I've talked about this before in other episodes. Like when Luke comes in Mandalorian season, like video game Luke comes in Mandalorian season 2. I was like, okay, like that's okay. I don't know. I was like, it doesn't feel real to me.
Yeah.
So although in Book of Boba Fett, I kind of enjoyed those episodes with Luke. I don't know. So they got better at the technology and stuff. But
well, they definitely improved the you know,
the face.
Yeah, for sure.
But so that minute when she's like, he's alive. Like again, does she know that Anakin is Darth Vader? How does she know? Was it she saw the records in the Jedi Temple? Like again, a lot of squinting, right? But again, on one hand, this whole thing was presented back in the day as a kids movie, right? Lucas, even in the prequels, was kids movies. These are kids movies. That's why we spend so much time in Phantom Menace talking about the politics, you know, and the embargoes.
Yeah, just what every kid wants to sit through, like an hour senatorial meetings.
Yeah. My daughter started a financial advising firm after seeing Attack of the Clones, you know, like I remember her just being like, I remember she's like 3 or 4 when I showed her Attack of the Clones. And my daughter goes, she's like, I can't watch this movie. Like they're literally, she's like, I can't watch this movie anymore. I'm like, you're right. But Empire was the first movie. Empire Strikes Back is the first movie she sat all the way through. So I'm very proud of that. I know, good parenting. So that was a great moment. Give me that. So moving forward, bottom line, I think these first 2 episodes, they hooked me with promise. Like if we just focused on these things, but the execution was so cheesy, like so lame, and so like mustache twirly and over the top, and you know, like, yeah.
Give us some specifics on that.
Okay, so the character of Reva, right? So clearly she was, I'm jumping conclusions, but clearly she was one of the kids at the Jedi Temple when Order 66 was carried out. So like, again, Give me that story then. If that's the story you want to tell, but don't call it Obi-Wan. That's the bait and switch.
Yeah.
Right? So you know that she's going to be the good guy at the end, clearly. She's going to go up against Vader, like you and I have talked about so many times, like off camera. Like, so it's like you're setting that up that that's what's going to happen here. But like, I don't care about her.
Yeah.
Like, not for any reason, wink, wink. Like, I think a lot of audience members know what I'm saying here. Not for any reason, but the fact that I signed up for an Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for the
It's funny because
show.
this character too, I mean, it's very central in all of the marketing and stuff as well. So obviously they're pushing this character in even keel with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader.
And you know, I say this, like, again, think about the premise is great. An Inquisitor who was a Jedi at the Jedi Temple, who now like is like, she went the dark side, and it got her all like messed up. And then actually, like, if you really want to be modern about it and really want to be like fluid about it, then you go, the fact that she, you know, we know that the Jedi, like Luke, I'm going to cite Luke from the episode 7 last year. You know, he's like, the Jedi were failures or whatever, hypocrites, or right. Okay, so in the canon as of right now, Luke,
that was Luke, that was Jake
Skywalker.
Jake Skywalker.
Right, alternate, his half, the third brother that we don't talk about. You know, you have in the universe that like that the Jedi weren't ideal. Like they carry themselves ideal, but they weren't. So wouldn't it be cool if Reva explores the dark side and then goes, you know what, I'm somewhere in the middle. What a phenomenal political statement to make in such a divisive era. Right.
And you know, it also kind of hints at like the kind of the gray Jedi that's becoming part of stuff that they're canonizing and stuff as well. And this could be sort of the first opportunity for that. Had they taken the opportunity to maybe write this a little bit better, a little bit more care, instead of, like you said, the sort of mustache twirling, scenery chewing kind of thing that we're getting with this, you know? Because,
Obi-Wan!
Yeah, because like you said, in theory, it's not bad, and story-wise it can work, but it's just, you know, using that in this story, which is not what necessarily people want focused on, and not, like you said, not for any other reason than the fact that these are the characters that people signed on for. This is a story that people want focused. You know, it complicates it a little bit.
It does. And then same thing we have to address with Leia. Leia could, again, as a dad to a 6.
Should we have given a spoiler alert round at the top of this?
Yeah, we'll put a banner up, right? Like, Leia, she's 10 years old, but she looks like she's 5, and she speaks like she's 30. That confuses the hell out of me. But if we had the Leia show at 10 years old, it makes sense. People in this universe, when they're kids, like, they become senators, and Padme was like a queen at 14, you know, like, awesome. Show me that show, right? Please, like, as a parent to a daughter who loves sci-fi and like special and superhero stuff, like, show me that, man. I'm all in. But they didn't. So it's like they crammed everything in. It's completely sloppy. And it's just like, I don't know what I'm focusing on. All I want to focus on is my friend Obi-Wan, played by the best actor, you know, like, and then Hayden Christensen, like, with his, like, show me, like, don't tease me, you know, like you have everything in place that I could like, but yet with the mustache twirling, the scene chewing, the over the topness, the precocious 10-year-old who looks like she's 5, written like she's 47, like, it's confusing. It's too much. Like, I can handle monsters and CGI creatures and like CGI sets, and I can get down with that. But like that Leia, like, I can't. I just my brain. It's too real. Like, anyway,
it was too much.
So those are the
it was
examples.
too much, and it wasn't well done. Even though, again, in concept, the idea of Obi-Wan going off world to save Leia makes a lot of sense, because that would be the one thing that would drive him to do that. But they didn't need a writer as precocious. I know that they're trying to make, again, plant the seed, strong female character. But the thing is, too, her being so young, she doesn't have to show like every characteristic of Carrie Fisher yet. You know, that's where it's kind of ham-fisted, the writing. It's like they have to make it so obvious. It's like, no, she's gonna grow into that. We get it. You just have to let us know who it is, you know? And that's enough.
I don't mean to sidetrack, but it's so astute and so true what you just said, because I'm like, I think what happened was when they cast Alden Ehrenreich or Ehrenreich, right? As Han Solo, but it's not like Han Solo, like he looks like it's Han Solo 20 years prior to New Hope. It's like a few years prior to New Hope, right?
Yeah.
So he's so not Han Solo, like he's so not Harrison Ford. Again, I recently watched this. I keep saying again. I recently watched Solo. Not a bad movie. I hated it when it came out. It's not a bad movie. It's a fun Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Alternate timeline, alternate universe, right? In the comic book movies, we have the multiverses now. Why can't we have a Star Wars multiverse? Like where it's this alternate timeline. Totally do that. And then it works. It's like, what an interesting character. When you're trying to shoehorn, like you said, Carrie Fisher. So like, because they're like, oh, well, that's not the Han that you know. So we have to make this the Leia that you know from 10 years old. Like, I don't know that it works like that. Like she had to learn a lot of things to be as edgy and powerful as she was, as much of a badass as she was in New Hope. And
Yeah.
they're trying to make it like she didn't learn any of those. But again, I mean, Lucasfilm, we don't have to learn anything in these movies anymore. There's no progression to an apprentice learning their craft. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. We don't need it. Nah. So,
You know what else we don't need? We don't need like one of the world's most recognizable musicians cameoing in this without any kind of like cover, or give the guy an eye patch or something, for goodness sakes. Don't take me out of this show by putting Flea smack dab in the middle of it. I half expected him to bust out into like slap bass.
I was expecting slap bass like without pants on, and
Yeah.
And then being like, McFly.
Yeah, that's right.
You'll never find out. Like from Back to the Future 2 when he's on video, it's like needles. All in all, bottom line, are you optimistic for the next 4 episodes?
I can't say optimistic. I just want them to at least with these next 4 episodes focus on the story that fans wanted. Focus on that relationship with Obi-Wan and Anakin. In theory, it should be so exciting, right? Getting this unexpected reunion of these characters and these additional battles sandwiched in between. But again, it's critical about like as far as the writing, and does it, do they somehow make that connective tissue work? So the seeds are there still for some really, really good stuff. But I've learned with the current Lucasfilm regime to like not be, to be kind of a little bit, I guess, I don't know if jaded is the word, but cautious.
Yeah, like
I want it to be good. That's the problem. And I think that's what a lot of fans is the conflict is, we're not going into this not wanting to like this, it is one of our most beloved characters, for goodness sakes. But I don't know. What about you? I mean, what would you like to see ideally in these next 4 episodes?
Yeah. Like I would like to see, you and I have spoken about this so many times.
Put it out there.
Put it out there. I would like to see them somehow within the body of the show. I would like for them to somehow justify, I'm not trying to be annoying, that this is an alternate timeline and that anything is possible, just like J.J. Abrams' first Star Trek movie. I want something to happen, or for someone to say something like even our friend, our goddess, the love of our lives, Kathleen Kennedy. I want her midstream. I will accept that this is how committed I am to this property. If she comes up and she goes, well, by the way, every Disney Plus show, every movie from now on is an alternate timeline. We're veering. It's a variant. It's like Loki. It's a variant. Great. Anything's possible at that point. My hopes and wishes are like aside. I'm okay with whatever you say at this point, but they're not going to do that. So what I'm going to settle for is just more Ewan time. Leave Leia, take her to Alderaan. Don't make that be the premise like Mandalorian, where it's all about saving the kid. Drop her off. Thank you. Now you're stuck. Now you're stuck in a John Wick world. How do you get home to save the other kid? Because the other kid's now in danger. So, right. Yeah. So there's enough tension to get back home. You don't have to stick with this kid. Go save that kid, and try to get to that kid. And then there's so many things that are in his path that he has to overcome, namely Vader. And just, I love that premise. I love that they meet and they have to deal with each other again, and they have to like connect because of that brotherhood, and like we can build on some of the promises that were laid out for us in the prequels that never came to fruition, and those movies with the bad writing, you know. So that's what I'd like to see, like some kind of redemption for Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader, some kind of relationship between the two of them, where even Vader is still able to be like, you were my friend. Oh, it's hard to go back because he burnt he burnt him. So, and he cut off his arms. They don't have to go back to being friends, but not that they would. I don't know. See, it's a mess. I have no idea what's possible even. I just want
No,
to be
I mean
good.
that probably sounds like the best case scenario. Definitely the way you explained the story too. And then just give us that, at least one great scene with Qui-Gon, where again he's the aide that, okay, you see how finally Obi-Wan gets from that broken place to who you see, in A New Hope, where at least, how did he make that transition and learn to, kind of dematerialize and kind of, become one with the Force.
Right. And that, because the last thing I'll say is, could you imagine how cool it would be if there's a Superman 2 scene where he's like, Father, and then like the green crystals like dun, 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 and he's like he just hits, so he gets out, he like, what I love for the next 4 episodes, okay, here's the truth, he uses the Force, he has a little bit more mastery, he's like, okay, oh, I'm back to my old self, and then Vader knocks him on his ass, leaves him to die, he's in the desert somewhere, and he's like, Qui-Gon, like Luke and Hoth, oh Ben, right? And then fucking Liam Neeson comes and goes, I have a set of skills.
See, Ron, you got to be careful because Disney sees this, they're going to hire you right away. I mean, there's just no way someone with ideas like that.
I don't have time.
Why would they
I
not?
don't have time for you.
Why would they not step you up? They just no. It'd be a wasted opportunity to do otherwise.
I don't have time for Disney right now. My business taking off. I ain't got time for Disney. I'm sorry. Anyway, so that's our review. Thank you so much for watching. And I don't know if it was a review as much as us just venting. If you were venting too, please put stuff, nice things in the comments. We don't do well with nasty things, but just put nice things in the comment. Let us know if this resonated with you and if you felt like you felt like, what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, for those of you who watched it, and there are many, obviously, yeah, let us know what you thought, and what moving forward you'd like to see, and what are your hopes. Yeah, so drop a few comments, like, subscribe, and Ron and I will see you hopefully again very soon. Got to get around to that Top Gun review, so we'll keep our fingers crossed on that one.
It's happening. It's going to happen soon.
All right. Well, good seeing you again. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good being back.
Namaste.